Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. So been getting a lot of messages from all you guys and gals on YouTube, just kind of wondering where I am, what's up, and what the progress is on everything. So where to begin? Finally got that mold release I was waiting on back in May, just in time for me to have to leave and go work. And between May and mid-September, it was just it was a mad dash of insanity for work. I probably went back and forth between home and Virginia and Wyoming half a dozen times. I was in Texas a few times taking care of Dallas's mosquito problems. Then we were up in Massachusetts taking care of their mosquito issue, up in Louisiana a lot, Florida, I mean, all over the place. But now that it's officially winter with a week of below 30-degree weather, it's slowing down, which is good and bad. Good because I'm at home, get to do lots of work. Bad because the money's flow starts to dwindle down to bare minimums, really. But anyways, F14 hasn't been touched since that last video in May. I need to get some machine parts for the wing pivot bearing holders and horizontal stab actuators. I got to come up with some income to get some more carbon cloth and some other fiberglass cloth, sandwich material, and some vacuum infusion supplies. So I mean, I need a couple $1,000s for all that stuff. It adds up real quick. There's probably gonna be about $200 or $300 worth of consumables just to get one fuselage. So it's all this little stuff that you don't expect that bites you in the butt later on. But yeah, that's where the F14 is. You can see the two big old wings on top of the thing. That's my income project. Me and a buddy of mine, we went up to Warbirds over Delaware and had a blast up there. If you've never been and you're somewhat local, try and make it out there at least once. It's kind of like the Joe Knoll in a different aspect. Bunch of great guys that put that event on, and even though it's just hot as crazy a couple of days, it was a great event. Went up there, had a blast. Bunch of really nice airplanes. Not a whole lot of German and weird stuff. There's a lot of P-51s, P-40s. I mean, you know, the typical stuff you see at your flying field. And me and him both, we kind of like unusual stuff. So we stopped by the Udvar Hazy Center at Dulles Airport and went to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum there. Another trip that if you haven't been, you need to put it on your bucket list. Just and at least spend a full day, if not two, there, especially if you want to do some sort of research and get a lot of pictures, because there's just a bunch of stuff in that place. Anyway, we stopped by there, saw a bunch of very intriguing airplanes, a lot of World War II German stuff that you look at that and you realize that if they just had another year or two, or if we'd been a year or two later getting into the war, it'd be a completely different world nowadays. But in the restoration shop, they had the wings for the Horton 229 twin jet powered flying wing that I guess they're going to start restoring or preserving it. So the talk between there and home, which is about a 2-hour drive, we decided we wanted to build one of those, but we didn't want to have to start from scratch, and we didn't want to have to make our own plans and all that stuff. And Gary out at Wings on the Web has an 82-inch wingspan version of the Horton 229 for 70mm EDFs, and 82 inches just isn't big enough. Big airplane, but it's just a wing, so it's really not that big. So we bought his plans, we enlarged them 150%, which gives us a 123-inch wingspan, and the wings on top of the F-14 are about 65 days worth of work later. Well, that's not the only thing, but those wings are done painted. They've actually been like that for over a week, and been doing a lot of other, actually they've been like that for about 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, so those are done. Fan units, you can see there at the nose of the F-14. I got the power system for that already. It'll be on 6S for now for the prototype, maybe 10 or 12S later on, we're not sure. And on top of that, we're probably wondering, okay, so how does building another airplane bring you income? Well, as you guys know, if you're building more than one, you might as well mold it. So over here, we've got the whole center section for that Horton 229. We put it in parting planes yesterday, waxed it. I just sprayed PVA on it about half hour ago, so the PVA is finished and drying now. And that's gonna the top of it's gonna get molded today. Tomorrow I will mold the inlets, which are what these parting planes are blocking off because they kind of curve in, so there's a lot of a negative draft there, so they have to be separate. But we're gonna mold the top of that today. I gotta order more glass for it. I didn't have quite as much as I needed, so I gotta order some more this week. And we'll probably mold the bottom of it come the weekend after Thanksgiving or the week after that. Like I said, 65 days to build this thing. There's about $300 worth of plywood just in that one center section, not including the $100 and so of balsa wood to build it, and then the fiberglass and everything. So well, what we decided is, since there's so much fiberglass and epoxy, or not epoxy, but balsa wood and plywood in the center section, it's actually cheaper for us to mold it, sell a couple, and just do it that way, because for what we would have in supplies to make another wood version of that, we could put the same amount of supplies and actually save money by doing composite ones somewhat. It kind of works out to be about the same price, within a couple of bucks, maybe $50 more for a composite one, but it'll be significantly lighter. That thing weighs probably 25 pounds. Again, 123-inch wingspan. It's set up for twin 90mm EDFs. This is my marketing ploy for all y'all who like unique stuff and want to build one of these things. We will be selling center sections. I've got 3 for sure right now that guys want. I'd really like to sell 10 or 20 of these things. So if you guys want one, let me know. I'll give you the pricing on it. We got a good idea on the range for them right now, which can be probably around $800 to $1,000. That's going to get you an all composite center section, wing tubes, and the wing sockets will be pre-installed in the center section, clear canopy. You'll have separate gear door moldings, and you'll also have a separate canopy hatch molding, and all the internal structure also be installed for the retracts and all that. I've also got a scale nose gear assembly drawn up in CAD right now that I'm looking for suppliers to do. So anyway, that's that. Like I said, set up for twin 90s. You can fit 110 or 120mm EDFs. You can put 2 P20s in it, 2 Wren NW44s. You could probably even fly it with a single P60 or a P80 or even a P100 if you wanted to go ballistic with it. I mean, the airplane has a lot of potential with what you can do with it power system wise. So 124 inches, I expect it to weigh about 20 pounds, ready to fly. On top of the center section is just going to be available from me with everything I just told you. The actual plans and everything for the outer wing panels, you'll have to get from Gary from that Wings on the Web in one or two ways. One way is he's going to, if I can get enough people to pre-order from him, he's gonna enlarge the plans and separate each wing panel on a different sheet so it's not such a big piece of paper, and the wing ribs will be on a separate sheet, and then he's gonna modify those, I believe, for the wing tube installation, because the wing tubes are separate from, or different compared to the 82-inch version. He's gonna do that, and then he can also supply laser cut wing ribs. The other option is you just buy the plans from him, you take them to your local Kinko's or Staples or whatever, you have them enlarged 150%, and then I'll actually put in there with the center section, I'll have a description with photos and everything showing how you go to locate where the wing tubes are, which it's fairly simple. And then you just come up with 15-20 sheets of balsa for your wing grids by yourself, and you cut them out in a scroll saw and off you go building them. Wings are actually fairly simple, even though they have that pretty significant curve to the top of it. They're really easy to build. Gary's design is awesome. The center section just basically interlocked together and kind of fell together on its own, super easy. But for those of y'all who are just kind of wondering where I had disappeared to, you can thank work for that. Work and family. And now I'm back trying to get some stuff done, try and make some money so I can get the F-14 molded up and at least get a fuselage sitting on the landing gear or something by the middle of summer next year. So, but until next time, y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. And for those of y'all on the other side of the world, y'all have a great Monday and a great week up until, well, Thanksgiving for us here in the U.S. The rest of y'all have a great week at work. Until next time, we'll see y'all in the shop.